So this was a video I definitely did not want to make, but it's something that I think should be said because I don't think enough people are talking about this. And that is Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Now, you might be really excited for this game and really happy that you're playing it on the Nintendo Switch, but there's a lot of things that we need to talk about when it comes to the Switch version because there's some things over here that just does not add up and shouldn't add up that I think needs to be addressed immediately with what Nintendo did with Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. This has been one of Nintendo's most controversial releases yet onto the Nintendo Switch. Probably not as controversial as Zelda Skyward Sword, but this one, with a lot of recent Nintendo decisions that have happened, has made this very questionable. And today I want to talk about my review of Luigi's Mansion 2, my thoughts on what's going on with it, and how Nintendo needs to improve as a company on what they're doing here, because this I feel like is really unacceptable. The first thing that I really want to talk about when it comes to Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is the point that it's actually a remaster and not a remake. Now, I bring this up because you're going to tell from the visuals that it doesn't look like the greatest Nintendo Switch game out there compared to some of the other things that Nintendo has made. And it's also, because of that, visually, it just does not look up to par with some of the other remasters that have come out there. And the main reason that being is because it is a 3DS game that they're remastering over to the Nintendo Switch. I bring that up because I think this was kind of a weird decision to actually bring Luigi's Mansion 2 HD over to the Nintendo Switch. Why didn't they bring something like the GameCube Luigi Mansion over to the Switch? It's a GameCube game. Everyone's loving the GameCube game right now, and I think a lot of people would have preferred to play the first Luigi's Mansion on the Nintendo Switch rather than Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. And visually, it would probably look a lot better than what a 3DS remaster would look. I'm not a game developer, but I can imagine that a remastered game bringing over to a 3DS, not like a remake or anything like that, is visually not going to look the greatest. You can do your best, and this company that developed Luigi's Mansion 2 definitely did the best that they could to make it visually good as a remaster, but it's one of those things that it's very questionable that this is a remaster and why it's not the first one. I bring that up because this is a $60 release, and I feel like for the fact that Nintendo is charging $60 for Luigi's Mansion 2 is a big no-no. One of the reasons being it's a remaster. Now keep that in mind. We just talked about how it's a 3DS remaster, but it's not just your normal remaster because the original release of Luigi's Mansion 2 was a $40 game on Nintendo 3DS. In fact, it was called Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I don't know why they went ahead and changed it over to Luigi's Mansion 2 in America, but I know in other countries it's Luigi's Mansion 2. I don't know, that was a weird, confusing thing. I'm very interested to see why Nintendo actually just went ahead and changed the name and why they just didn't do Luigi's Mansion 2 in the first place. And I want to make the comparison that a lot of people have been doing online. They made a $40 version of Meteoroid Prime that had the same thing being called a remaster that looked visually great, one of the best looking Nintendo Switch games of all time, and they charge $40 for that. Now, I know there's gonna be the comparisons of Meteoroid's not as big as, something like the Marios and all that, but I feel like Meteoroid being what it was, how good it looked, where people was questioning if we should be calling it a remake, this has more of a argument of being $60 rather than $40. If anything, I mean, I don't even think Luigi's Mansion 2 should have been $60 at all, or let alone $40, but Luigi's Mansion 2 should be more of a $40 game if we're being honest here. And again, I know people are going to make that Meteoroid's not as big as something like a Mario game, but Mario vs. Donkey Kong that came out this year, where I think a lot of people would consider that a remake, was a $50 game. What's going on here with Nintendo? How are we gonna end up with something like Mario vs. Donkey Kong be $50 and then Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, a remastered game, end up being $60? And I know this is a third-party game that I'm about to bring up, but I do want to bring up the fact that Beyond Good and Evil just had a big remastered HD version just come out for $20, and that has more added content than what Luigi's Mansion 2 has, and it's a $60 game that I'm holding. And guess what? This doesn't have added content. Now, again, I'm not a video game developer, so what I'm about to say might offend video game developers, and if I'm wrong here, but Twitter pointed out that the 2 HD version that's on Switch has the same exact files as the Nintendo 3DS, meaning that they didn't update any of the files. So Street Pass still exists within Luigi's Mansion 2 HD on the Nintendo Switch, something that doesn't have Street Pass. And this part, I don't know if this is true or not, but someone on Twitter showed the fact that they had the same files as the 3DS version, so they were able to bring their 3DS save file over to the Nintendo Switch version with a bunch of the emulating, all that stuff. And if that's true, that's kind of crazy. And all of this was done within 24 hours after the game was released. So I don't know, I just think that this shows that Nintendo did not do this release right. And I have seen some people defend this game by the fact that it has the online scare scraper mode. And well, actually, I didn't get to enjoy that. So let me go ahead and call my friend Coleman to see if he wants to play some Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. He'll pick up.
Yes, Max?
Hey, buddy.
What?
Was something wrong?
No, I just, you only call me when there's like an issue.
Well, there's no issue right now. I just wanted to talk to my friend.
Well, why don't you join the call then?
No, I need to talk to you personally, right now, right here.
Why?
I had a question.
What?
I was wondering if you wanted to play some Luigi's Mansion 2 HD right now, right here.
I don't have the game, Max.
What? You didn't buy the $60 remastered version of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for the Nintendo Switch? Why?
No, Max.
What? What? You didn't buy the $60 port?
No.
Why? I'm gonna go. So I've been trying to play the infamous scare scraper mode, the thing that Twitter and everyone else has been defending this game for being $60 for. And as you saw, I can't find anybody to play with when it comes to my friends. Everybody that's defending this game probably didn't buy the game, is my whole point. Now, I don't want it to seem like this is me just really bashing this game, because this is a very fun game. Luigi's Mansion 2 is a phenomenal game, but it's one of those situations that Nintendo shouldn't be charging $60 for this. And quite frankly, I don't think they should be charging $40 for this. I know everyone's quick to say, hey, this should be like a $40 release like Meteoroid Prime. If I'm being honest, with how it looks, the fact that it's a 3DS game being remastered, I really think this should actually be a $30 game max. And in all honesty, I would put it at $20. I think something like Beyond Good and Evil, the fact that that's a $20 release, and then you look at something like Luigi's Mansion 2 HD right here, $60 right here, that's just ridiculous. I don't understand Nintendo's plan here and why they charge so much for this if we look at their titles that they released this year and last year. I know $60 is a very common thing for Nintendo, but it kind of seemed for a second there that we were going down to more reasonable prices from Nintendo. And I know no matter what we say, what we do, all the complaining that people will have towards the price tags, the real problem is people end up buying it anyways, because Nintendo is ultimately the only company that gets away with charging so high, because people still end up buying the game. And I'm gonna be honest, I would not buy this game, and I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't have bought this game if it wasn't for the fact that I do Nintendo Switch content on this channel. I would have waited to get this game probably towards the next Nintendo console, because that's when you'll see some of these first party games drop down in value. And I know some people are probably like, oh no, you would have bought the game anyways because you're trying to go for all the first party Nintendo games. I still would have waited on this one because I know this is one I would have got at a flea market or something for like 20 bucks years later. I just feel like with everything that was done with the remastered version of this does not warrant $60 at all, because there is nothing new here. I think I would be more inclined, I don't know if I would still push to pay $60 for this, let me just say that, but I think if they would have brought maybe Luigi's Mansion 1 along with 2 as like a double pack for $60, I might be more interested in paying $60 for that rather than just Luigi's Mansion 2 alone. And I kind of for a second thought that when this game was announced, they were gonna do something like that, because surely there was no way they were gonna charge $60 for Luigi's Mansion 2. And here we are. they actually charged $20 more than the original release of this game, with no added content, the exact same game. Now, if we forget the price tags, all that, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD does run really well for the Nintendo Switch. However, that should not be a surprise considering it's a 3DS game. Visually, it looks as best as it could considering it's a remaster. Again, for $60, I'm not a developer, and I know me saying this is it's gonna be so easy for us, the people buying these games or complaining about these games, to say stuff like this, but for $60, they should have remade this game. Not a remaster, a remake. But it's easy for us to say that since we're not actual video game developers. Point is, I think there's a good chance that this won't sell well because it seems like some people are actually voting with their wallet. At least that's what I was thinking. Then I saw in the UK, this was the #1 best-selling game. So we're gonna be seeing more $60 Nintendo remasters that are going to have literally nothing done to it. Can't wait for the Switch 2. So if you want my honest review here, I don't think you should buy this game. Even if you haven't experienced Luigi's Mansion 2 and you really love the games, for me personally, I can't justify the $60, and Nintendo games rarely go on sale, and if it does go on sale, it's like $10 off. So if you're waiting on a sale, it's probably not gonna happen for a bit, and if it does happen, it'll be like $10 to $20 off, because Nintendo games, they don't, for whatever reason, Nintendo they get away with everything these days. With that being said, I feel like I can't rate this game high. The $60 price tag really is something to consider for what this game offers. And I know it's going to be kind of like, because it's a good remaster, but I'm basing my review off the price. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. It's just, that's really the big problem here. There's no problems with the remaster. I guess the visuals are the only thing you could complain about. Like, there was some times when I was playing the game that some of the textures definitely looked like they did not update them as much as they should have updated them. They looked more like, almost like 3DS textures sometimes at rare spots of the game. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I give Luigi's Mansion 2 probably like a 4 out of 10. And I feel like 4 is a very good number still to have with the amount of problems this has. It's a very good game, but there's so many cons of it being a $60 game that it's ridiculous. So if you can find this for like under 20, go ahead and buy it. Yeah, the game is fun. It's good. There's no problems. There's no glitches. It's just a $60 game. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Am I being too critical? I just feel like it's so weird that Nintendo released this game because there's so many other things that they could have released here. I think Luigi's Mansion 1 would have made more sense. I think that would have looked better as a remaster where it was more justifiable for the $60. And then if they wanted to release a 3DS game or a remaster for $60, why didn't they do something like Kid Icarus Uprising? So many people are demanding for that game. My friend Ian, he modded Wind Waker to be a playable pit because there's just no Kid Icarus content coming out. Them Kid Icarus fans, they deserve the $60 remaster. Like, that would make more sense. I don't know. There's just so many weird things here. I feel like this is a very questionable release from Nintendo. It's just one of those things. Why did they release this? Why? So guys, I have been talking for way too much. Make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check out my Instagram, check out my Twitter, check out the Discord server, become a MONADO Marine. $5 a month helps out the channel greatly. You got some amazing emotes that you can use in videos, and we've been streaming a lot more. Hope to see you guys at the streams, and I hope you guys checked out our Too Many Games vlogs. If you haven't already, go watch them. A lot of people love them. A lot of crazy things happen. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are gonna hate this video, but at the same time, I don't care about what you guys think about the what I'm gonna say, because I'm cool like that, you know? I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna fight these Nintendo fans for stating my opinion, and all these people that are gonna say yes to $60. No, I'm gonna say no. Well, I can't say no because I own the game right here, but if it wasn't for the fact that I wasn't for a YouTuber, I would not be buying this game. In fact, I would have bought it used. I would have been like, you know what, Nintendo, you ain't getting the value of this game. I'm gonna buy this used. Let GameStop get the full value of a retro game store. All right, guys. Love y'all to death. Thank you all for the support on the channel. We hit 13,000 subscribers, which is just wild. And yeah, we go on to Southeast Game Exchange, which y'all see some videos for that probably next week by the time you watch this video. And yeah, what a crazy week. I have a lot to talk about when it comes to Too Many Games and Southeast Game Exchange, and I'm sure we'll be sitting down to talk about what's happened. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.